Hi friends, welcome to this 30-minute yoga flow for the winter solstice. I am excited to share with you some postures that will allow us to ground as we explore our bodies and explore those shadow sides that sometimes we don't like to get too close to. But with the winter solstice comes lighter days. We've had so many long, dark days, and now we're heading into those lighter days. But I invite us today to come into those lighter days, come into that light with some intention. So if you'll join me, roll out your mat and let's get started. We're going to start on our mats in a seated position. So just come into a seat that feels good in your body. You can sit your hips up on a block or a pillow, maybe put blocks under your knees, just whatever feels good in your body. And I invite you to bring your hands anywhere on your legs that feels good. If you want to turn a little bit inward, you'll take those palms face down. If you'd like to invite some energy in, you can bring those palms face up. And if it's okay in your body, just go ahead and close down your eyes or take that gaze just beyond your nose. Feeling your sits bones grounding you, your spine elongate, and your crown reaching for the sky, stacking over that spine. Shoulders are relaxed. And we're just going to come into the space. So wherever you are, just allow yourself to arrive. Arrive on your mat, letting go of whatever was happening before you came to this place. And allowing your mind and your body to be present here and to stay on your mat for the next 30 minutes. Trying not to look into the future, but to be here on your mat in this space. And we're going to do 4, 7, 8 breath, which means we will inhale to the count of 4, we will hold to the count of 7, and we will exhale to the count of 8. We're going to take 3 rounds of that. So empty those lungs out. And if at any time that gets to be too much for you, you can just take those normal inhales and exhales. But this breath will leave you feeling relaxed. So empty those lungs. And breathe in to the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keeping those eyes closed and maybe allowing your hands to come to your heart, placing one on top of the other. Thinking about the intention of renewal as we allow a little bit of that shadow side to come in. We don't like to necessarily look at the dark side, the shame, the blame, the judgments. But it's in those spaces, it's in the dark, that we learn how important the light is. Without the dark, we would not have the light. So just hold some space there for yourself to be with what is for you, to be with some of that shadow. And without judgment and releasing some of that shame, just being with it. Being with the weird parts of yourself, the unknown parts, the regretful parts. You invite some love and light into that space. And from this place of inviting the light in, we'll go ahead and blink those eyes open. And you might see my cat Lizzie walking around every once in a while. She likes to join me for yoga. So we'll bring our soles of our feet together, coming into this butterfly pose and just starting to move that spine in all those different ways to loosen our bodies up. So we're going to come into some seated cat-cows. So on the inhale, we're going to expand that chest, broaden those shoulders for cow. On the exhale, we're going to round that spine, chin the chest, cat. Inhale for cow, open that heart, gazes forward. Exhale, round that spine, cat. One more. Inhale, and one more exhale. Coming back to that neutral spine, relaxing those shoulders. We're just going to take small circles around one way a few times and then come back the other way. So we'll start going in one direction, trying to keep those legs open and those hips grounded. Going over to the right, around, trying to keep that spine elongated, that back straight. We'll take one more of these. And then coming back to center, going the opposite way, trying to keep those sits bones grounded, that spine long. And then we'll take one more of those. And then coming back to that neutral spine, we're going to come on to all fours here, stacking those shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. The tops of the feet can be down on the mat, or those toes can be tucked, whatever feels good in your body. On the inhale, we'll drop that spine, broaden those shoulders for cow. Exhale, round the spine, bringing that tailbone toward the earth. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. One more. Inhale, drop that belly, gazes forward. Exhale, round the spine, press that mat away, tuck that tailbone. Come back to that neutral tabletop. From here, we're going to walk our hands about a hand width distance out in front of us. Tucking our toes, we're going to set up for a downward facing dog here. So sending those hips back and then up. Feeling the weight in the pointer finger and the thumbs. Creases are out of those wrists. Now the shoulders are no longer stacked over those wrists, but they're behind the wrists. Head is heavy. Chest is reaching for the thighs. Tailbone is reaching up. Heels are reaching down toward the earth. Taking in a deep sip of air here, breathing in. Audible sigh out. From this down dog, we're going to walk that left foot in toward the right. Inhale that right leg up about hip width distance. And then exhale, we're going to bring that knee into our chest and step it through our hands, coming into this low lunge position. Dropping the back knees, untucking those toes, lining those toes up with the knee. Inhaling, reaching up. Shoulders are relaxed. Front knee is over that front ankle or just a little bit behind it. Or in front of it, sorry. Breathing in here. And then exhale, bringing those hands to heart center. Feeling that connection. Feeling the heel grounding into the mat. The top of the foot. Feeling that pelvic area pulling up and in. Breathing in here. Exhale, bring those hands down to the mat. Untuck those toes. Lift that knee off the ground. Step that foot back. Coming back into that downward facing dog. One breath here. Breathe in. Audible sigh out. Let it go. Bring that right foot in toward the left. Inhale, left foot up about hip width distance. Exhale, bring that knee in, step it between the hands. Drop back knee, untuck toes. Inhale, lift up. Shoulders relax. Bringing hands to the heart on the exhale. Feeling this right hip pressing forward as you're pulling up through that pelvic area. Bringing those hands to the heart. Coming in to the space, the feelings that arise, and allowing them to be there. One more breath in. Exhale, bring those hands down to the mat, untuck those toes, lift that knee, step that left foot back, coming back to that downward facing dog. In this down dog, we're feeling the connection with the earth energy rising up through us, breathing in and exhaling it away. From here, we're going to make our way to our hands. So we're going to come up to our toes and then exhale, take steps toward the front of the mat. Bring big toes together, heels a little out. Inhale to that halfway lift, spine reaches, crown is strong. Exhale, forward fold. One more inhale, halfway lift, make this a pose, press into those calves. Exhale, bring those hands down to the mat. We're going to step that left foot back, coming into a low lunge here. And then inhaling up to high crescent. Breathing in this high crescent. And then on the exhale, we're going to open this up to a warrior two, spinning the back foot open so the toes face the long edge of the mat. Front toes face the short. We're at a heel to arch alignment. Front knee is stacked over that front ankle. Shoulders are relaxed. Gaze is over that front hand. From here, we're going to straighten our front leg, coming into triangle pose. In this triangle pose, we're going to reach that hip toward the back as our hands reach for the front. And then we'll bring right hand down, lift left hand up. In triangle pose, the goal is not to get to the ground. The goal is to feel that strength in that side body holding you in space. Feeling that right hip or that left hip splaying forward a little as that right hip is pulling back. Shoulders trying to stack on one another. Feeling the groundedness through your feet as you expand through those hands. From this triangle pose, we'll take one more deep breath in. Exhale, bring those hands down to the mat, frame that foot, step that back foot up to meet the front. And inhale brings us to a halfway lift. Exhale to a tight fold. One more inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, our hands come to the mat, step that right foot back. Inhale up to that crescent. In this crescent, front knee stacked over front ankle. Back knee is lifted. Shoulders are relaxed. Inhale to lift. Exhale, open, warrior two. Back toes face the long edge of the mat. Front toes face the short edge. Gaze is over that front hand. Trying to think here of the head, the root, and the hips and shoulders being in the middle. Back leg on one side, front leg on the other side. This is the past. This is the present. Can you stay centered? Sorry, this is the past. This is the future. Can you stay centered in the present? That didn't sound right to me. From here, we're going to straighten that front leg. Stick that back hip out a little bit toward the back. Reach that front hand forward and then down, coming into this triangle pose. Again here, this right hip is splaying forward just a little bit as this left hip is pulling back. Chest is opening up toward the side. Gaze can be at the floor, out to the center, or up toward the future. Breathing in, exhale, bringing those hands down to the mat, stepping that front foot back, coming into this plank pose, and then sending those hips up and back, coming in to a downward facing dog. One breath here in this down dog. Breathe in, exhale, let it go. Bringing that left foot in toward the right a bit. Inhaling, right leg up, hip width distance. Exhale, stepping it through. Framing it with those hands. And then inhaling, coming back to that high crescent. From this high crescent, we're going to come into a twist. Bringing hands together at the heart. Leaning a bit forward on the inhale. And then exhale, taking left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Breathing into this twist, stacking shoulder on top of shoulder, pressing the palms of the hands together. Thinking about the twists and turns that the darkness sometimes brings, and then breathing in, coming through, inhaling, high crescent into the light. Exhale, bring those hands down, step that front foot back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, one more halfway lift. Crown reaches back as strong. Exhale, we're going to take our hands to the mat. Step back to that downward facing dog. Breathing in and letting go. This time, stepping that right foot in toward the left. Inhaling, left foot hip width distance. Exhale, stepping it through, coming in to that high crescent. From here, we're going to bring those hands to our heart. Inhale to lean forward. Exhale to twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Again here, pressing those palms of the hands together. Breathing in and out. Inhale, we'll reach up toward that light. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step that back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. From here, we're going to inhale one more time to that halfway lift. Exhale to that tight fold. And then inhale, reach those hands up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, bring those hands to the heart. We're going to come into a chair pose here. So inhaling those arms up. Exhale, bring them to the heart as you sit back and down. Taking the weight into the ankles. Maybe you can wiggle those toes. Back is long and strong. Sitting back and down. Breathing into this chair pose. Feeling strong. Feeling ready to take on what the new year has in store for us. Breathing in here. Exhale, coming into a prayer twist. Again, taking that elbow to the outside of the right knee. Taking a peek down at those knees to make sure they're in line with each other. Breathing into the twists and turns of life. And exhaling to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, this time reach and rise, extended mountain pose. Exhale, bring those hands to heart center. We're going to come into a figure four pose, taking the weight in to the left foot, feeling the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel grounding you. Inhaling that right knee up, flexing that right foot, and then taking that right ankle on top of that left knee, hands at the heart, sitting back and down just as we did in chair, coming in to this figure four pose. Opening this hip up. We hold a lot of tension in our hips, a lot of stress. When we open the hips, we allow an opening in our emotions, a portal for feeling or exploring the shadow. One more breath in and out. Inhale brings us back to that one-legged mountain pose. Exhale, hands down. From here, we're going to inhale those arms up. Exhale, another chair pose. Relaxing those shoulders. Taking those hips back and down. Bringing hands to heart center and twisting to the left. Right elbow to the outside of the right knee. Crown is an extension of the spine. Breathing in. Exhaling it away. One more inhale to those twists and turns of life. Exhale, fold. Inhale brings us to a halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we'll reach and rise. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. This time we're going to take the weight into that right leg, setting up for this one-legged mountain pose. Inhaling, lifting those left toes up off the mat and flexing them. Taking that left ankle on top of that right knee. Bringing hands to the heart and sitting down in to this figure four. Keeping that left foot flexed. Again, opening that hip up. Feeling into that body. Breathing in. Exhale. Stand up. Inhale one more time. Breathe in. hands to heart center. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take our hands to the mat. Step back into a tabletop position, stacking those shoulders over the wrists and those hips over the knees. We're going to come into heart melting pose here. So we're going to take those hands about that hand width distance again, like we did in that downward facing dog. But we're just going to then take our heart to the mat. So thinking about that bottom, moving back toward the ankles, and then taking that forehead down to the mat. You can also have a block there to support that head. In this pose, we're feeling that heart melting toward the earth, allowing it to open, to expand, to invite in the light. To maybe picture the dark and the light swirling around together. Because without one, there couldn't be the other. We often want to rid ourselves of those dark feelings, those dark times. But without them, we would never learn, we would never grow. The light would not be as bright. From this heart-melting pose, we're going to come back to that tabletop position. And then we're just going to send our hips back to our heels, coming into a hero's pose. You can always take a block and place it under your bottom to feel that support. But coming into this hero pose, I invite you to bring those hands back to your heart and maybe close down your eyes or take that gaze just beyond your nose. Can you simply notice? Notice how you feel. Notice where your breath is. Notice anything that's feeling uncomfortable. And the goal here is not to change it, but just to notice, to be present, to be mind, body, breath, same place, same time. One more breath in. Exhale. Let it go. From here, we're going to come on to our bottoms. Coming back to that figure 4 pose, but we're going to come into fire log this time. So both knees are going to be bent. We're going to take right ankle on top of left knee. And just feeling the hip on the right, expanding, opening. And then taking those feet out long, we'll come into one forward fold here, flexing the feet, inhaling to reach up, exhale, folding over. The goal here to get the belly button out and over the thighs. No need for the nose to touch the knees. And then coming back, we're going to bend that right leg. Lay that knee down and then take the left ankle on top of the right knee. Coming into that fire log pose on the other side, feeling the openness in the left hip. Breathing in and exhaling to blow it away. And then unwinding this, one more forward fold, breathing in, reaching up, exhale, bowing down. Inhale, reach toward the sky, long back. Exhale, bring those hands to the mat. Come back to that easy seated position where we started. Inviting those eyes to come closed, maybe those hands to heart center. Breathing in, feeling the crown reaching. Exhale, letting something go. From this place of openness, can you find acceptance for all the ways you've judged yourself? For the moments of shame, for the moments of darkness. Can you invite the light that we'll be gaining every day now until our days become lighter and lighter and longer, and our nights become shorter and shorter. Maybe whispering, I accept you. I accept all parts of you. I accept the shadow parts as they have helped me learn. And I invite the light in, but I know that the darkness is always there as well. I open to it all. Taking one more breath in and exhale, letting it go. Maybe inviting those thumb knuckles up to the middle of your forehead, that third eye, your intuition. I bow to you and say namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this winter solstice practice with me. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. I'll come up and turn the video off, but I'd like to thank you all for sharing this practice with me today. I hope that you were able to garnish something from it, and reach out if you ever want to explore a little bit more of that light and shadow work with me. Thank you so much. Have a great day.